Trader Peter Ward, you're up next, bro. How's it going?
Hey, Kit. Appreciate you having me on. I just want to say
No problem,
I'm pretty new to sharing my trading journey on social media. Actually, only been about a month now. And
it's a pretty toxic environment unless you fuck with us.
Well, I appreciate the spaces, man, just because I've been lurking in the background for a while. And, some of the guys on here, the speakers, you guys that are Twitter famous, I would say, have inspired me to at least come out and share my trading knowledge and journey that I've been on for the last 8 years now. And I'd like to at least kind of reel back to what it takes to become a professional, because I started.
Yes, please. Yeah, that's the topic of discussion today, outside of getting to know so many wonderful people.
Yeah, so I started my own hedge fund in 2019, and it failed miserably. So I just want to kind of speak on that, of what it takes to run a CTA Forex fund specifically. And because I know there's some guys on here that are ready for that next level, at least in the United States. If you're not in the United States, I can't speak to that because I didn't live through it. But I can at least speak to becoming a commodity trading advisor, and being a member of the NFA and going through all the regulation and compliance process. Because once you're a profitable trader, like, okay, trading is the easy part at that point in your trading journey, because you figured it out. You have a model that you follow. You've been profitable hopefully for a couple of years, and you're ready to take that next step. So for me, that happened in 2018. Actually, I'd been profitable for 2 years, and I was building. I had a track record, and I was like, okay, I'm ready to go shop this track record around and really push myself out there as a professional. And don't go off of my profile pic. It's just a joke that I made that I think is funny. But
no, that's cool. Real quick question. Add a little bit of context for
Sure.
the listeners here. Like, how old are you?
Yep.
How do you engage with price? And just like briefly describe a tiny bit about your model.
Yeah, sure. So I'm 38 years old. I started trading when I was 30. I spent the 20s in the military, and actually lost a bunch of money in 2008, 2009 that I had funneled into the market. And I was just like, this is bullshit. Like, I'm going to figure out how to manage my own money. And that led me down a path of education for economics and finance. So I got a bachelor's in economics and a master's in finance. And regardless of all that, I started trading Forex in 2015. And I lost pretty much for the first 2 years. And I don't have I'm going to quit because I'm lost a few $1,000s here and there and blew a bunch of accounts. Like, I was like, I'm going to figure this shit out. And I told myself I was going to go through it. And so I engage with price primarily through price action and pivot points. So I'm actually I trade pivot point theory, and it's a lot different than you guys doing ICT, but you kind of opened me up to the world of ICT, who I ran across this stuff in 2017 for like the paid mentorship, I believe. And because I heard people were reusing his content, and I was like, okay, I'll check it out. But I guess I wasn't ready to go through it at the time. But so I've been watching his 2022 stuff for the past couple months now, and I'm like, this is some next level shit right here, man. And I've been profitable for 6 years now, so I'm just like actually melding that into my personal formula for trading, and it's been great. But so that's kind of how I engage with price, and primarily trade XAU USD. But getting back into jump into the next level of your trading career. If you've been profitable for a while, I would say you could probably do it for, if you had 2 years of track record. I was shopping my fund as CTA in Forex with a 2.5 year track record, and I got turned down a lot. I got a bunch of no's. I went around to the CTA expos where you pitch your fund to investors, and it was a little bit disheartening because I was like so headstrong and gung ho about it. and had some backing, and the guys that I had backing from pulled out for some real estate ventures. So I lost my funding essentially. That wasn't my personal capital. And then just a series of events took place, mainly April 20th, 2020, kind of wrecked that idea of having a profitable track record. And if anybody knows what happened that day, if you were long on oil, we can talk about it another time. But so now I'm, just focused on building a 5-year track record, because that's actually what it takes, I believe, personally, just from having lived through the experience before and having a good 7 figures under management already that you can back your hedge fund up with. Because no investor is going to, especially if you have a cap on the minimum investment, like if it's $1 million with 1 year lockdown period where they can't, just pull money out next month. A lot of investors won't come at you with, 7 figures if you don't have 7 figures of your own money backing it. Right. So if you're kind of managing just in even prop firm space, like 7 figures, I would say like doing everything that you can to get your own capital backed, fund up that you can go shop around, because the money's out there. Like, I'm not trying to discourage anybody to not go that route, because I do think it's very viable for a lot of people in this room that can make trading a career for a long time. And, you can make a lot more money. But
so being from the United States, did you go for, it sounds like you went through some licensing and
yep.
and your education. Interesting. So have you seen these firms that are copy trading other traders based off of their trade record? Because in the United States, without that license, the workaround that is provided is a 1099 independent contractor that operates in demo. And then they can copy trade your demo. And that, for a fact, is the model that is happening right now with a lot of firms. And I'm fully aware of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it gets it really does get down a slippery slope if you don't have the proper licensing. So for anybody that wants to be like a commodity trading advisor or a commodity pool operator, which I think is a great area of opportunity for a lot of people. We could talk about that another time. You really should have your Series 3, which is your national futures examination passed. And if you're doing Forex, you should have a Series 34. And if, I don't know about copy trading, but you should definitely have some Regulation D paperwork for like becoming known, even on social media. Like the CFA or the CFTC will definitely, if you come up with like a couple $1 million and, it starts getting really questionable, like who these people are. And I wouldn't want to ruin the experience for anybody, because I'm the guy that's got $10 million and I'm just copy trading somebody and I don't have licenses. And then, the SEC gets involved and lays the hammer down for everybody. Because
Yeah. At the end of the day, this is not financial advice, and ensuring that we're just a room full of traders, and we're not talking compliance or anything too technical, because I think that slippery slope does can occur. But we're talking about practice and best practice, and
getting to that next level, like you really need to have not just like the third party software from like TradeZilla or like FX book, because once you start, studying for your examinations and going down the a legit commodity trading advisor route as a hedge fund, you're gonna want like a CPA. So I paid for the lawyer, or the lawyer pushed me to his CPA that I paid, a monthly fee. So they'll go through line by line all your trades that you've ever taken on the account that you're pushing, or the accounts that you're pushing. And they'll give you the third party stamp of approval from a CPA that's, deals with in that compliance arena, which you have to submit to the NFA every month anyway. So you might as well get used to paying these accountants essentially. But Yeah, so you could do it with like the third party software. I just think if you want to get into the real game of managing either family offices, because or an endowment, or just a qualified eligible participant, which is somebody that has a net worth of like over $1 million, or a couple that has assets of 250,000 or whatever. So you're going to need like that legit, I would say 5-year track record that's not over leveraged. That's, you're trading your program and you're trading it over a period of volatility. So you're like actually using the Sharpe ratio, and they're going to look at the Sharpe ratio, which is, your performance over a period of time compared to risk-free assets, right? Because you're going to be an alternative investment platform for them as a CTA. They're not going to be like,
I know of several platforms that exist that take on all of the licenses, and there's more than one. That, I mean, you with your degree and your knowledge set and following the proper compliant path, I mean, kudos to you.
yeah,
I
and
think a lot of folks that are on this call need to have their model, their framework, their system, and they need to be tracking it successfully. And within being able to track it successfully, they can farm out that report card on how they're trading to these other platforms that are carrying all of the licensures, that are carrying all of the compliances. And they do exist. They are out there. And I mean, I know this for a fact. So I don't have well, we're just going to focus on giving advice.
yeah, I would
And
say for anybody, like, I'm not trying to dissuade anybody from doing that. Definitely, like, don't
well,
try to
I mean,
do.
you're talking about you need a degree in finance and economics, and you need to follow the compliance of the SEC and this, that, and the other. And I don't disagree with you, but I have none of those things, and I believe our pathway is similar. I'm not
Yeah,
starting my own hedge fund either. I'm working for someone else that has all of those licensures in place. And then we're dealing with a global economy. So
yeah,
guess what's regulated in trading around the world, everywhere but the United States, and you're a 1099 employee.
right, exactly.
So anyway, what you're saying is not wrong. And obviously what you're saying is 100% correct. You've walked the path and you know full well. But I don't want to create too many friction points for aspiring traders who are listening. And the opportunity to trade other people's capital goes back to, I think, a simpler form of being able to manage themselves and being able to produce a legit track record and being able to farm that track record out to folks that do have licensures,
Yeah,
that are following your compliance methods, that are talking very specifically about following these regulatory rules that are indeed in place. Because I promise you, motherfuckers are copy trading my shit, and I don't have any of those
yeah.
licensures in place. And I, at the end of the year, get a 1099 as an independent contractor.
Definitely. Yeah, I wouldn't want to dissuade anybody from going down this certain path. You could definitely do it through other ways and means to become, a professional money manager. I wouldn't recommend trying to do it. I don't think I would do it again on my own, because it's just too much. It's very expensive. And but you
Well, I
could
mean,
do
it
it.
sounds like you went down the. I mean, you went down the full. With just from your degree, I mean, you went down the textbook way, right?
Yeah.
And I'm saying in 2023, in the world that we live in, advancing from prop to a hedge fund platform, similarly to how the mechanism of prop works, there are hedge fund platforms in which, no matter where you're from around the world, it is legal, it is compliant, and you can still be an independent contractor with your own system that ends up getting copy traded.
Yeah, definitely. I think PAM accounts definitely is for sure a real legit thing. I don't know if that's what you're speaking to, but um, yeah, man, I just wanted to jump on here and kind of share my little backstory about how, like, I went down that path and
thank you, bro, for adding some
yeah.
insight and bringing the theme back to it of becoming a professional and what that can look like, and specifically how that looked like for you. So thank you for that.
Yeah, and I've got a wealth of other trading knowledge, so you'll see me back on here from time to time. I really appreciate you taking time to listen to me ramble about it.
No, dude, that's cool. You got my follow for sure.